there was discipline, and we'll get into this in a minute. There was discipline with listening to R&B music. Like I don't have no problem with R&B music. Don't jump me. I don't have no problem with R&B music, but I'm not an R&B type of person, a type of guy. I'm more so hip hop. But the discipline. So it wasn't that hard. It wasn't like I was like, but as we'll discuss, well, I guess I can start because usually you start segment one talking about your experiences. I can go ahead and start. You want me to go ahead and start?
Go ahead.
It'll take about 2 hours.
Nah, we gonna land this plane. Come on.
So the discipline to sit down and listen to love songs. So let me be clear. So I have no problem with R&B, but there was some like, okay, I'm listening to the discography. I'm going through the songs. Of course, started with Acoustic Soul, worked my way up all the way up to the Worthy album. And I found myself like, if it was any song that was like, oh, love and relationship, I'm like, okay, let's go to the next song. I gave it a chance a little, but I was like, nah, I'm looking for like spiritual songs. So consciously, I'm like, okay, for the show's sake, but there was some resistance. There was some feelings there that was like, hey, now this came out right before we recorded this show. We had a pre-discussion and we tapped into a level of like, okay, what is this? Let's speak on these feelings that you're having. Why did you move to the next song?
So I got a question. So the Love and Relationship, the volume 1, did you listen to those songs?
Oh, Life and Relationships. Yeah. Well, Testimony, yeah, volume 1. I listen, but if and this is with every album, if I sense that the direction of the song was about like love and relationships, like, oh, I miss him, or hey, this is, I was like, let's go to the next song. Cause I'm looking for now consciously.
But that was those were the rabbit hole songs. I specifically told you to listen to that album. I specifically told you to listen to that album because that takes you down the rabbit hole.
You did say that. I have it in my notes.
And you
but I was listening.
Whatever.
No. Let me clean this up as if I can. Let me try or attempt to clean this up. So
no cleaning.
So consciously, I can make the excuse. Now, again, I don't excuse myself from it because we're about to get into the conversation. But consciously, if I wasn't in tune with my emotions and didn't want to speak on why and go deeper with that, I can say, hey, for our show, we're dealing with spirituality. So I wasn't looking for, this is not a relationship podcast. This is not a love podcast in the sense of relationships. So I skipped the songs merely because I was looking for what can we use to tie into the spiritual conversations. Now that would have been like, if I was like still putting the wall up, I would use that excuse and try to get myself out of it. But that's not the case. That's not the case.
Okay, because I'm not buying it. So.
Of course you're not. Take a deep breath. Let's go ahead and unpack these bags.
Woosah. So what do you have against love?
Hey, that wasn't discussed. That's not what we discussed now.
But it's clear to me.
I'm just messing with you.
You got something against love. Look, I got a box of Kleenex right here waiting for you, okay? It's ready.
Here's an oxymoron. I love love.
Really? Walk me through that one.
I have no problem with love. So let's shift out of that narrative. Okay. Shout out to day number 1, our first show, Changing the Narrative. No, show number 2, Changing the Narrative. So let's change that narrative. So it's not that I do not love love. It's more so, let's see. Being that, no, let me not go there. Let's reframe that question, because it's not that I don't love.
Okay, you're correct. That was more of a, I'm just going in. I'm going to attack
Yeah, I feel
because
attacked.
I don't
I
appreciate
feel attacked.
you not following my instructions. That's what came up. I gave you instructions and you didn't listen. You didn't follow them. But no. Okay, so let's back up.
Hey, let me play something for you.
Drake.
Oh no, that's not it.
I want to say I'm sorry for the things I've done. To my mother, I'm sorry. Oh.
I just want to say I'm sorry.
Whatever. Okay. So, when you chose to not listen to certain songs because it was about love or missing or hate or hurting, how do you separate that from spirituality?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it all goes together.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't have love without pain, simply because at some point the person may go away or they may die or whatever it is. So there's going to be loss.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, loss comes with just change, with life changing and the uncertainty of whatever the new is, the unknown. So, I mean, that's a part of the spiritual walk. All of it's a part of the spiritual walk. Um, so how come you don't want to do that part? It's like, oh, I'll do this spiritual stuff, but just not that.
Well, off top, the spiritual stuff resonates more with me. Now I get it. I agree that it's all one. There is no separation, as we had the discussion before. There is no separation. So I guess in regards to the relationships, context in regards to relationship love, like romantic relationship and all that comes with that, the reason it doesn't resonate is off top would be I'm not dealing with that currently. I'm not in a current relationship. So I'm not, that's not something that's like, okay, I can relate to that because, I'm going through that. Now, that's not to say that I have not been in. So I've had past experiences. So that's where we begin to unpack to where the things that come up in regards to the past relationships, it's like I'm the type of person that suppresses. So if I got it, well, I'm gonna say if I have to hear, but if I hear like love and like, oh, the happiness and the pain and all that, it's like, okay, I don't want to deal with that. So I guess I attach my personal experiences on that. And it's like, I don't even want to deal with that. I don't want to hear it because, I guess I haven't worked through or dealt with my own issues that I've dealt with my relationships, whether it be the good stuff, of course, that's always going to be great, but like the pain and the like the negativity, the things that didn't go as planned or just didn't go as they just didn't go well. Just put it at, leave it at that. So maybe it's just me pushing it away because I pushed away my own past dealings with relationships.
Do you ever plan to deal with it?
Of course. I mean, I've dealt with some, so it's not to say that I've suppressed and I don't even deal with it or I haven't dealt with it. There's things that have come up, just given my last relationship in 2016, there was a lot of things that came up and I handled it differently. From past dealings, I've matured in that regard. Emotionally is mostly like the emotional aspect, as you know me, emotions. I'm not an emoter. I don't emote in the sense of like, speaking how I feel or
Speaking, showing, like
you don't do none of that. Poker face.